Shock Rock here with you today. No, don't be fooled. It is not Sam I Mean Andy. Not on Halloween. Alice Cooper.
Okay, I think we might be good this time.
DLAKE for PREZ is joining me live on air. It's Alice Cooper. I'm joined by, hello there, I'm the Invisible Man. DLAKE, do you know how hard it was to fly in off tour to be on this show, not to mention to bring the Invisible Man all the way from England?
I can imagine how difficult that would be.
David Lake, very, very, very nice to meet you. I've been a fan of your work for a long time. I don't know if you've ever heard of me, but I'm in music, and you've done really good.
I recognize your makeup, Alice Cooper, right?
Indeed, yes, yes. Vincent here, as many people know.
Oh, we are live. Oh, okay.
We are live. I've got Bob over here beside me. He said last year he was having issues with his. Everyone said that the Invisible Man wasn't looking them in the eye. So this year they're able to have a really good look at him. As you can see, he's able to say hello to everyone. I'm dying of thirst. Hello, everyone. It's the Invisible Man.
I see some. I see a hat, and then I imagine he's invisible.
Oh, yeah, well, of course. But, you know, when we're on tour, a lot of times when he's on stage with the band, you don't even see him. It's amazing. It's truly something you're going to want to see.
Well,
well, you know
the benefits of being invisible, isn't it?
With Alice Cooper. With Alice Cooper, I'm famous for the guillotine scene where they would cut the head off.
Of course, yeah.
It's not just me that we're cutting the head off of. We're also cutting the head every night off of the Invisible Man. And I think a lot of people don't notice that. But maybe he's kind of hard to see. He needs a little sun.
That's interesting.
Hey, I guess I got to get to the news before I get back on tour here and get sidetracked. Invisible Man's going to go ahead and give us the science update. Listen to this. Ex-BBC journalist found hanged in Turkish airport and lost 3 colleagues in terror attack in just 1 month, including her predecessor, whose memorial she attended just days before her death. Now, this sounded like something I would write about on an album. I like to write about fictional serial killers, nightmares coming to your house, and the end of the world. Well, this here, I thought, David, was really interesting. A former BBC journalist found hanged in a toilet crucible in a Turkish airport had mourned the death of 3 colleagues in terror attacks in just a month and attended a memorial at one of them days before her death. And that emerged today. Jackie Sutton, an international development worker, was found dead at Istanbul's Atatürk airport after missing a connecting flight to Erbil in Iraq. Well, that's almost as confusing as the flight we took to get to America. Well, yeah, it kind of was. She appeared distressed after being told by airline staff that she would have to buy a new ticket. She was later found in the toilets by 3 Russian passengers, according to local media. Now, David, I'm a rocker. A lot of people wondering, what's a rock star know about hosting a news show? Let me ask you something. Does that seem suspicious to you, David Lake?
A little bit, yeah, a little suspicious there.
It says she appeared distressed, and then suddenly airline staff said she'd have to buy a new ticket. At the end of the call, she posted on her Facebook page the story of Sabine Mahmood, a human rights campaigner who was killed by a gunman at Karachi, Pakistan. Just a week later, her predecessor at the Institute for War and Peace, reporting Ammar al-Shenbander, was killed by an Islamic State bomb blast in Baghdad on May 2nd. On May 12th, another friend, this time Paula Cantor, a researcher, was one of 15 people killed when 3 gunmen opened fire on a group of Westerners at the Park Place Hotel in Kabul. I don't know. What do you think? Absolute coincidence. I don't even know why it's on the Halloween show. Maybe it's just me. What do you say? Do you like?
Yeah, I don't know. All these weird names and bombings and explosives and the can you explain the relationship with the predecessor?
Well, it said Mrs. Sutton posted an attack before she knew of her friend's involvement, calling it another senseless act of slaughter. Poignantly, she wrote, hoping everyone staying there gets out okay. She later attended a memorial service for Mr. Shanbander at St. Bride's Church, which is on Fleet Street in London, just days before she was found dead. Aren't you from near London? Why, yes, I am. How could you tell? Something about the way you speak. On her Facebook page, when she died, Mrs. Sutton paid tribute to him, writing, in one of the stars you shall be living, in one of them you shall be laughing, and so it will be as if all the stars are laughing when I look at the night sky. Good night, my friend Al Shanbander. You know, just coincidentally then, you know, she ends up hung in an airport. Miss Sutton, 50, had been working in the Iraqi city of Erbil as the Iraq country director for the Institute.
This is such a weird fucking story, Sam, and I mean, I'm trying to pay attention. Maybe I wasn't paying attention at the beginning. How does this affect Americans?
Well, what it is it looks like when not so much Americans, this one being from England, but it would affect Americans in that it's stifling journalism. When these people are reporting on the atrocities and they go to catch an airplane, the people that they're criticizing are knocking them off. This is the third person that's been knocked off for reporting on the same story.
So reporters are being killed trying to do a story?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay, now I get it. Well, explain it to me, wrap it up in that context.
Yeah, a 50-year-old was held on various positions of humanitarian organizations around the world, and the UN, as well as working as a producer for the BBC, often in the war-torn countries, and once suffered a post-traumatic stress after being arrested for alleged spying in Africa. That was completely trumped up. They've been dogging this person forever, and now she's dead. Her brother, Ian, who's 59, questioned the odd circumstances. There do seem to be some very odd circumstances, he said. She had too much to live for and too many people relying on her to simply quit. He posted a tribute to his sister on social media. So anybody that touches
and it was made to look like a suicide by hanging?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Wow.
You're not to ask any questions at all. So after we're done with this, if you catch a flight, DLAKE, make sure you let me know, because you know, we could wind up hung.
Yeah, I'm not flying outside of the country. What do you think, Invisible Man?
I think I'm going to go ahead and take a boat home. But they can hang you on a boat. Well, they can drown you in the water too. Perhaps I'll walk.
How are you gonna walk there, Invisible Man? Do you have powers that we're unaware of, Invisible Man? Jeez.
Don't get him started. It said it was a very romantic ideal that ISIS is peddling to these young women. So basically, she's reporting on exactly what's happening over there, and as a result, they literally just hung the woman in a bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely dreadful. That's the first story that I have here.
All right, what's next?
It's a rather long article. It's in dailymail.uk. You guys are going to want to look it up. Listen to this, just in time for Halloween, David Lake. And you know me, Alice Cooper. Nobody does Halloween like I do. I got the big snake. I got the guillotine. I got the blood. I guess I don't have any feminists. Thank you. SJW, feminists try to ruin Halloween, so let's laugh at them. This is Louder with Crowder. Dear annoying feminists who want to ruin everything because they're miserable sacks of crap. I'm Steven Crowder, and my blood is boiling so hot it's coming out of my whatever. There's room for him on stage, David Lake. First, watch this moronic feminist put the words together to form the sentences that express moronic things. That's a absolutely priceless sentence. Halloween is just around the corner, but despite it being a ton of fun, it is also, David Lake, get this, packed with sexist and racist costumes.
Yeah, Halloween is racist.
But fear not, join Lacey on this week's last episode of Braille's to find out ways that you can help make Halloween a little less offensive. Watch the episode to find out. Now, what's funny about this is I've seen costumes, and many people know I'm Alice Cooper, of course. I'm a Christian in real life. My name's Vincent Fernier. My dad was a Methodist preacher. And they don't attack the offensive Christian costumes, which we see every year. No, we never see that. We don't see them sticking up for I went to a rave once, and I saw a costume with a priest, and then had a boy knelt in front of him like he was going down on him. I called it free speech. I'm not Catholic. I didn't like it, but it's free speech. But now that you're going after feminists, it's considered some big issue. I mean, as you can see, the Invisible Man has eyeliner on today to look like me, clearly.
I can't I sort of see a little eyeliner there, but.
And I thought maybe he should, you know, go ahead and have made it pink as not to offend the feminists. This is an idea. It's MTV's latest leftist indoctrination scam. Lacey Green tries to convince young kids that Halloween is a cultural minefield of racist patriarchy. It's so absurd that it makes MTV's other hits on Jersey Shore and 16 and Pregnant seem like Hitchens by comparison. Keep in mind that this broad show is called Braless with Lacey Green. So rebutting it is like, well, rebutting the show name's Braless with Lacey Green. But it's a show on Saturday, and some SJW kids are still taking feminism seriously. So here we go. And around 45 seconds into the video, she urges that slutty costumes are the byproduct of the feminist revolution, allowing women to be sexually liberated. She seems to think that this is a good thing, which is fine. Then, however, she immediately complains about men objectifying women in said slutty costumes. Claiming that showing extra skin doesn't make you any less human being or any less entitled to basic human decency and respect.
Yeah, Sam, check this out. If you're tired of dressing up, ladies out there, if you're tired of dressing up as a sexy mouse, a sexy police officer, a sexy Bert and Ernie, yes, these do exist. Why did it say sexy mouse? What about where's all the sexy nurses and the zombie nurses and sexy witches, whatever, or a sexy whatever? We are right there with you. We've made it our mission to round up costumes that focus on all of the things about women that make us strong, or make you women strong, fierce, and overall awesome, in addition to our undeniable sexiness. So we're not going to do the sexy costume, but of course we're sexy, and we got to find a way to make it sexy. Every year we search all over to find that perfect costume that looks great and also sends a message. The feminist message. But this third wave feminism that you're talking about, Alice Cooper, is just way out there. And these costumes that get the messages across, here's just the first couple of photos on my screen share. Let me scroll up here for you. I don't know who she's supposed to be. These look like zombie hunters or vampire hunters or something. I can't really tell. Votes for women. It's like all these chicks should be sexy, hot nurses or witches. I don't know. Let's see what else they have. Let's click next, Sam, before we get back to your... Oh, you got to be Rosie the Riveter, because she's pretty much the symbol for feminism. Right there. That's what you got to do. Tell your girlfriends that they need to be Rosie the Riveter. They go to a party and there's 50 Rosie the Riveters. Then what do you do? Oh, you could be a box of birth control pills there, Sam. Alice Cooper.
That would be a good idea. I don't think that would offend anybody at all. Absolutely nobody. Except
I saw a friend on Facebook dressing up as Benoit balls. Anyways, go ahead there, Alice Cooper, Invisible Man. Guys, go ahead.
I was looking at your screen share there.
What about this screen share about Halloween blackface? Because a lot of people make the racist mistake to try to dress up as Crazy Eyes when they're white people, or hide your mom, hide your kids. He kind of looks like him.
Well, my question is this, and I happen to agree with this. Eddie Murphy was called a genius when he was a white woman and a white man. Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. Beautiful point. And when he was the white guy on SNL, that was considered fucking genius, was it not, Alice Cooper? You remember that?
It was, and he was in a movie as well where he did it, and he was an elderly white woman. Coming to America, I believe it's called. I'm almost sure.
An old Jewish man. I mean, how does Eddie Murphy get away with it? And it's not even Halloween when he does it.
Well, listen to this. She goes on to say, slut shaming is offensive on the first mental steps towards someone justifying acts of sexual violation on Halloween night. Well, I'm showing a little extra skin today. Well, I can see that. This is an important sleight of hand often employed by SJW feminists. So they try and conflate the idea of sexualization or objectification with rape. Look, nobody's justifying rape here, he writes, at all. But for a man to internally sexualize a woman who's willingly put her breasts on a platter, or a beer wench outfit, or a sexy devil shawl, etc., in order to garner sexual attention, then it's natural. It is in no way immoral. Let's face it, you're not putting your jugs on display and bobbing for apples so that you can look at yourself in the bathroom mirror. You're putting your sexy parts on display in hopes of getting them noticed. There are plenty of non-sexy costumes available. You choose a sexy costume. Men will therefore look at you sexually. Congratulations, your ruse has worked. He goes on, the problem is, thank you. The problem, well, my drummer's still on tour. The problem is that feminists like Lacey want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to be able to parade in hyperly sexuated outfits, but shame men when they react. Well, does that excuse rape? Of course not. But things like compliments, requests for your phone number, and dare I say it, gasp, catcalling may occur. Also, don't expect a man to strike up a conversation with you because of a burning interest in your opinion regarding quantum physics. It's the breasts, stupid. And you know what? That's okay. Men are the only ones being blamed for their bigotry. Men are sexually attracted to certain traits in women. That's
why. Who told you that, Alice Cooper? Who told you that?
I can tell when they're, flashing titties at the crowd. Sometimes I flash mine back.
Hey, just because it's on the internet, Alice Cooper, doesn't mean it's true, okay?
It could, well, it's that is.
No, Alice, listen to me. I'm Donald Trump.
Oh, you're gonna make the Trump moon. I've heard about you.
Oh, you've heard about the moon? The moon is gonna be great. We're gonna build a wall around the moon because we don't want any Russians on the moon. Forget those cosmonauts, okay? We're building a space station on the moon. It's going to be all American.
Can I play the Trump moon?
It's Trump moon.
I want to be the first band to play the Trump moon. I think.
Yeah, look at this costume right here, Alice Cooper. I'd rather die than make Brad a sandwich and some kind of feminist Lichtenstein, who we all know is a famous artist, Lichtenstein. Art meets female power, but I mean, his art is so confusing. Like, what does that really mean? Look, hey, check me out. Hey, do you guys know what I am for Halloween? It's not racist. It might be considered racist. I don't know.
I was thinking Crocodile Dundee with the hat. You don't have a knife.
Yeah, I don't have a knife. I have a Star Wars t-shirt on.
That indeed.
Force Awakens.
Do you have a lightsaber?
I could probably find one around here. Oh, look. No, it's not a lightsaber. It's Thor's hammer. Just happen to have it laying around here. I can lift it. No problem. Pretty easily. I'm a space cowboy. Come on.
I like it.
The gangster of love.
You are the guy. Yeah, I've heard that about you. I heard
Some
that.
people call me space cowboy. Doom, 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 doom. Some call me the gangster of love.
Steve Miller.
You know that song, right, Alice?
Steve Miller and I came up around the same time. He's a good guy.
Yeah, yeah. Stephen, the new Stephen Alice show. We don't have Kyle. He texted me that his girlfriend was puking and throwing up. I think she's probably possessed by the Exorcist or some crap like that, or you know what I'm saying. Her head started spinning around, and he had to run to CVS. I saw another costume this morning. I don't know if I can find it on my Facebook at this time, but it was a guy that was dressed up as a super long CVS receipt. Did you see that?
No, I have not. I haven't seen a lot of costumes this year in terms of
you got to get online. You got to go check it out.
I had to fly into Ohio, so I'm probably going to be doing the trick or treat thing. I came in to be on the show. Brought the Invisible Man with me. I'm looking forward to seeing some really good costumes.
Now, I know, and you guys brought a lot of stories too. And don't let me try to take over the show. But what was next on your guys' list of stories there, Alice, Invisible Man?
Well, the Invisible Man wants to do the one after this one, so I might step out and use the restroom for a minute. I was thinking about maybe drinking some blood, maybe sacrificing something during the break. But listen,
Okay, great.
MTV wishes violent car accidents on parents who dress their kids in offensive Halloween costumes. Paul Joseph Watson. Oh, Paul Joseph Watson, he lives by me. Yeah, he does. I guess he would, yeah. You're a good guy. I'll put my arm around you. You're a good man. MTV wishes violent car accidents on parents who dress their kids in offensive Halloween costumes. Quote, I hope you get into a car accident and have to be saved by black paramedics. And again, it was a joke, and I don't have a problem with offensive humor. A lot of people would call the music I make offensive humor. But the point is, MTV is someone that gets offended if you make an Asian joke or a black joke or whatever kind of joke you make, unless you're attacking other white people.
An off-color joke?
An off-color. That's why I've always been a fan. That's why Alice Cooper's always been a fan of David Lake. I'm telling you, since your early days, D-Lake, always. Thanks. An MTV news video wishes violent car accidents on parents who dress their kids in offensive Halloween costumes. Another insight into how the cult of political correctness is increasingly driven by radical ideology. Well, let me tell you something. I remember when I did a song many years ago for a Friday the 13th movie called The Man Behind the Mask, and MTV played that video. And I remember when they quit playing videos. You know, I've been around since the late 60s, early 70s, so people have said, well, Alice Cooper, you know, you're not this generation, so they're not going to put you on. They don't have any videos on. The other day, and we'll get to this when we close out, there was an Usher video. They didn't even show the whole video because they were going to a commercial so quick. So, I mean, for them to take this political stance as if they were still relevant is absolutely ridiculous. MTV is one of the most irrelevant channels on the entire spectrum. The clip features a number of Halloween costumes that MTV presenters deem to be politically incorrect, including a Native American outfit, a geisha girl, and an Arabian sultan or a Rastafarian. MTV video does not make reference to cowboy outfits, which by the rules of their argument would be...
Oh, whoa, what about space cowboys?
Are offensive. We probably should have given this show an R rating. They could put like a PMRC sticker on the bottom of the screen like they do my records. I think that'll be great.
Yeah.
That'll solve it.
Thanks, Tipper and Al Gore.
Yes, yeah, they can get us through this. Well, it says, you know, it should be that cowboys would be offensive. They're culturally appropriate to the 19th century Americans from the Old West, or Oktoberfest costumes, which may be considered xenophobic since they mimic white German beer maids. One of the presenters suggests that Child Protective Services should be called on parents who dress their toddlers like Arabian belly dancers, while another host goes even further, referring to the Confederate general outfit. The presenter states, quote, if you buy this costume for your kid, I hope that you get into a car accident and you have to be saved by black paramedics. Another woman featured in the video also invokes the racist stereotype that all white people like that should run around in Confederate flag general outfits should all be in ranks. The video serves as a reminder that the joyless progressives and social justice warriors are on a crusade to have absolutely everything imaginable, even down to the kids' Halloween costumes, deemed racist or offensive as part of their run. It says they're not afraid to invoke violence as a punishment for anyone who dares dissent against their radical new form of patriotism. And I think, Puritanism, excuse me, and I think that that's absolute insanity. This is the kind of slippery slope we began to go on when we started censoring records. We knew this was going to happen. We knew, and now here we are.
Oh my God. Look at this lame costume ad. This guy's a Mexican kid, and he's like, don't dress up like Pancho on a donkey with the hat and the big mustache. And this guy, oh, he's from the Middle East. He's like, don't dress up. White people don't dress up with the headscarf and the bomb attached to your body. I mean, who are you supposed to be? This Asian or something, don't dress up in the kabuki. This, whoever this is, I'm a gypsy. Don't dress like a gypsy. Okay, thank you. This guy, who's this guy? I have no idea. He's like, don't dress up like a Native American Indian. You're not a Native. This guy's Mexican. Who's this? Don't dress up like a vampire. Oh no! Don't dress in blackface because I think this is probably a white person made to look black. I have no idea. Jesus, it's Halloween!
The usual host of
Get over it. Some people call me the space cowboy.
Hey David,
people call me the gangster. Oh, go ahead, Sam. Alice, go ahead.
The usual host of this show, Sam, you'll be interested to know, goes to Cleveland Indians games sometimes. Interesting story. He has this blanket. I wish he was around. He has this blanket that he puts over his head and puts his hair out in ponytails and puts war paint under his face, kind of like the lines I have, just going the other way. And cool. Cleveland Indians games. Does that mean that Sam's racist? I never knew Sam to be racist. When he called and asked me to be on the show, he didn't seem, I don't get it. I don't think he's racist.
But was he like, nigga, will you be on the show, my nigga?
He didn't even have an Indian accent, believe it or not. But a funny story, one time when he went down, he was buying tickets off the people on the street dressed as an Indian, and the ticket scalper asked Sam if he needed tickets to the Indians game. So he must have thought that Sam always walked around looking like an Indian, so you never know. You just never know. What else was he going to be doing? You know what I mean? All right, I guess the Invisible Man here has a story to get to. Yes, Invisible Man, that's pretty much it. All right, we're going to get to news from the science front here. Let me go ahead and circle this over. Invisible Man, are you on? Yes, I am on now, and hello everyone, fresh from jolly old England. This is Halloween, and it just got a whole lot scarier with the discovery of a huge asteroid hurtling towards Earth. The spacewalk, dubbed 2015 TB145, was only discovered a fortnight ago by astronomers using Pan-STARRS telescope in Hawaii. Well, that would really mess up my show if that was to hit while I was playing. Well, aren't you glad that you're not playing today, Alice Cooper? The asteroid is on an extremely eccentric and high inclination orbit, explained NASA. With the asteroid expected to come in at 77,500,000 kilometer threshold of proximity to Earth, it was classified as a potentially hazardous object. Although NASA is confident that the asteroid will fly past our planet some 49,000 kilometers away, while cruising at speeds of over 126 kilometers per hour. Well, that's not very far in terms of space, I know that. Despite missing Earth, people are always missing me, I don't know how it happens. Despite missing Earth, experts monitoring the space debris estimate the fly on the wall will be closest an asteroid has come to our home planet in close to a decade. Now, look me in the eyes when I say this. This could be very, very serious, David Lake. They also expect it to be 12 years before we experience something similar. This is the closest approach by a known object this large until 1999, and 10 approaches within one lunar distance of August of 2027, said NASA. Well, I guess that's only relevant as long as there isn't some that they already haven't discovered. That sentence didn't seem to make a lot of sense to me, David Lake. Despite being estimated by somewhere between 280 and 260 meters long in diameter, space fans will need a telescope to grab a glimpse of the giant rock as it passes by Earth. And I don't know how many people are going to be on their telescope on Halloween night. Most people I know on Halloween night are looking for the Great Pumpkin. But that is today's news from the science front. What do you think of that, David Lake?
Well, thank you for mentioning my name so many times there, Invisible Man. You're truly a great reporter, actually. I fear for my own job when you start doing these reports. Reportedly, that Halloween asteroid is shaped like a skull. Oh my, Invisible Man, is shaped like a skull. Zipping by Earth, apparently, like you said, didn't get that close, but take a look at these visuals on my screen share, Invisible Man.
Well, that's extremely close for space objects. Not to mention, you've got to... If it's shaped like a skull, I'm glad it didn't hit us because at least it was able to stop while we were still ahead.
Yeah, it's coming right at us. You make me want to talk all funny like. I love your accent, Invisible Man. No, yeah. Look, according to this graphic, look how close it came to the moon right there. Oh, it's approaching Earth. It's approaching Earth there, Invisible Man. Oh, that's where I live. I think I just saw my house on the map.
Oh, sir, I saw your house. Yes.
Yeah. You saw my house before anyone could see you, right, Invisible Man?
Oh, sometimes people, they're always taking my hat, and then, of course, you know, they don't even look at me anymore.
They think it's a free hat just floating in the air, and they try to take it off your head, right?
Usually, yes. You know what? Now that I'm already on space topic, and I came all the way over from England, I'm going to go ahead and let Alice Cooper do the last two, but I think I should stay with the space concept and maybe do just one more story. Do you mind, Alice?
That'd be great. Yeah, that'd be great. Because, you know, some people call me the space cowboy. Some people call me the gangster of love, all that, you know. I'm definitely the space cowboy. I love your space reports, Invisible Man. Hit me with another one, bro. Let's do this.
Take your time. Take your time, Invisible Man. Have some fun. Why, thank you, Alice. You're so kind. Original Star Trek crew member Bruce Hyde, who played Lieutenant Kevin Riley on the series, dies at the age of 74 of throat cancer. Now, many things can cause throat cancer.
Oh, whoa. Who? Invisible Man, who was that?
Bruce Hyde. He was Lieutenant Kevin Riley on the TV series. Now, he wasn't in a lot of episodes. He was one of the people that weren't in very many at all, I believe. But he died of throat cancer. Unfortunately, I think he probably smoked, but no, I'm not sure. I could be full of it. Almost 50 years since he joined the crew of the Star Trek Enterprise to boldly
Star Trek Enterprise,
where no man has gone before. Bruce Hyde is being mourned by fans of the show following his death. The actor died at the age of 74 from throat cancer, according to The Hollywood Reporter.
Damn.
He passed away on October 13th, only appeared in 2 episodes, only 2, mind you, of the original series of the cult show, but in his turn, LT Kevin Riley was a memorial one. His character was featured almost memorably in the 4th Star Trek episode, The Naked Time, which aired in 1966. He was
when Invisible Man, he was a very handsome young man in his Star Trek outfit. He could have been the new Captain Kirk, if you ask me.
Oh, I think he probably could have, and he can't now, of course, because he's dead. But he was infected with a mind-altering disease that led him to sing off-key versions of Irish ballad "I'll Take You Home Again," Kathleen, much to the annoyance of the crew. And then, of course, in episode 13, The Conscience of the King, Riley survived a poisoning learned by Kudos, the executioner, who had murdered a family 20 years prior to boarding the ship. In the past 20 years, until shortly before his death, he was a tenured professor and chair of the Department of Theater, Film Studies, and Dance at St. Cloud University in Minnesota. However, he still made appearances at Star Trek conventions, and an interview at StarTrek.com published in September 24th, he expressed his continued astonishment, the level of fan interest it had so many years since he had done it. I am honored, he said, to add my little toe in pop culture history. I only made a living as an actor for 6 or 7 years, and Star Trek, those 2 episodes, were about 3 weeks worth of work, so I'm dumbfounded. I thank people for even remembering me. He was born, of course, in Dallas, and he took his stage name. It was a bigger part of his acting career, and he appeared on Broadway and also starred in the production of a San Fran musical. That's out there by you.
Yeah, that's Dallas, Texas, and I appreciate you, Invisible Man, supporting American actors, considering you're from, you know, England and all that. But Invisible Man, I just had one question. Do you think, had Bruce been in Star Wars, that he might still be alive?
It all depends if he smoked those damn cigarettes. Because if he smoked them, and I don't know if he did, but most people that get throat cancer do. It's quite dreadful because I never got to meet him, and I would have liked to have gone to a convention, of which it says he did many.
Yeah, and we all appreciate him for that. May he rest in peace.
Totally go well. Me, you, and Alice Cooper aren't going yet because we are alive and well and healthy, thank God. It is the Invisible Man letting Alice Cooper and David Lake finish out the show. But I do want to say bye before everyone goes to close up, of course. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, no, Invisible Man, thanks for joining the show. Thank you for your reports. Let's get another report out of Alice there.
Yeah, he's a hard act to follow. He is a very well-spoken.
I know, man. This guy's so smart.
Excellent.
He's a lot taller than you.
Something right up my alley here. Oh, he's huge. Yeah, I noticed that when I saw him at the airport. And you talk about taking up seat room. Oh,
yeah, right. Hey. Oh, real quick. Speaking of the airport, the airplane. Some people call me the space cowboy. Some people call me the gangster of love. A man boards his flight and sits down. When he sees who's next to him, ... ellipsis. Alice Cooper, can I share this very cool story that I found on the internet this morning?
Oh, please do. There's two voices here, and rumor is they're getting tired.
Yeah, I'm on screen share. Check this out. Man boards his flight and sits down. When he sees who's next to him, ellipsis. Here's a picture of the man sitting down. You see him there? He's a big, cheerful guy with a beard, white guy. A Scottish man named Neil Thomas Douglas. He boarded his flight to Ireland. He sat down and noticed a familiar face sitting next to him. It was, strangely enough, his own face. What? Douglas was seated next to a man who looked exactly like him, despite having no familial connection. Look at this picture. Guy on right is the husband of my friend at so-and-so. Guy on the left is a stranger he met on the flight last night. And look at these guys. Do they not look like twins and brothers?
That's absolutely uncanny. I could make a whole album about something like that.
A friend snapped this photo of the duo as proof. It truly is uncanny. And it gets better, Alice Cooper. I can't stop looking at it. They are the same man. The strangers actually struck up a rapport and later went to grab some beers together. Here's even more photographic proof. Look at these two guys. Are these guys related? No. They met on an airplane, and they look like brothers. They look like long-lost twin brothers.
They look almost exactly alike. And Sam and his brother have a huge height difference, too. So, I mean, they could very easily be brothers.
That's another story of twin strangers that met on a student exchange, and they look exactly like these two girls. Again, not related.
And what's funny is that they do their makeup, unless they did that on purpose. It looks like they do their makeup similar, which is even creepier.
Yeah, I mean,
One pink lipstick, one doesn't have red lipstick. It's odd. They even did their makeup the same. And I don't think they aimed to if they met randomly.
I mean, these guys just met on the plane, though. That's a good story. Did you hear the story about the guy? Okay, check this out. Him and his wife were having trouble conceiving their second child. So they go to the artificial insemination. They do the artificial insemination with his sperm. But when it comes back, they do a test, and it says he's not the father, even though they did artificial insemination. There was only one other case of artificial insemination during that period of time, and it was an African-American man. So there was no way that it was a mix-up with the black guy. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, what is the mix-up? They did some more tests. They found out when this guy, when the father was being born, he was actually one of a set of twins. But he absorbed his twin in the womb, and that's been known to happen. But he took the major genome, but he still had the minor genome of his brother that was never born that he absorbed in the womb. Okay? So it's like the uncle turned out to be the father of this guy's new baby with his wife through artificial insemination. The DNA, his DNA, is personally sort of scrambled with the genome because he absorbed his twin when he was born. Is that pretty weird or what? I think I tried to explain it the best I could. I found it on IFL or IFLS. I fucking love science. Everyone should check that out.
There's an excellent book by Stephen King called The Dark Half. And the first time...
Oh, yeah. The Dark Half.
That's
his
what
twin. Yeah.
That book. Although, of course, that's in Stephen King's universe, much like my albums, of course. In the fictional world of Stephen King, the brother's spirit lived. Well,
yeah.
In real life, I knew a girl, and she was also a friend of Sam's. That's how we met. she had a strange bump up inside of her, real small, and even as a child. And when it was checked, they said that it was very likely a part from a sibling that she absorbed while in the womb. It would cause absolutely no issue whatsoever, but she could have it removed if she wanted, and she chose not to get her coochie cut on. And to this day, there's a little bump way inside this girl from where she.
Oh my God!
Likely absorbed, right? You know, and they do autopsies all the time. It's very, very common that there's pieces of bone or pieces of tissue inside people, and usually they don't find it. A lot of people don't need autopsies, for one thing. Second of all, you have to check every bone in the body and every area in the body to see if it happened, and there simply isn't any point.
Or even just the or even just the mild minor genome DNA, which was the case in the story that I was just talking about. But Sam, Alice Cooper, I just want to let you know, the sparrows are flying again, Alice. The sparrows are flying again. The Dark Half, great novel by Stephen King. Also a great movie starring Timothy Hutton, if you've never seen it.
I did not know that.
I might watch this movie later for Halloween. Either this or Christine. Because I have all the Stephen King, and I love to watch them on Halloween or the movie Halloween. Some people call me the Space Cowboy.
I'm down the road when I'm cowboying around. They didn't do to the Dark Half what they did to Tommy Knockers, or It, did they? Because I hated both films. I thought that.
If you've never seen the movie The Dark Half, you must see it immediately, Alice Cooper and Invisible Man. You guys need to sit down and watch it together later tonight. I recommend it.
Oh, I've seen it. I thought it was wonderful. He's honest.
Fucking liar, Invisible Man. You never saw it.
Oh, you're gonna offend. I'm looking you in the eye. How could I possibly lie?
Well, yeah, we're on internet connection, pal.
He's got a point there. He's looking you in the eye. He could be telling you. You could tell, but look at the sincerity on his face, David Lake. This is the story right up my alley here. Kurt Cobain was killed by the CIA, says his ex-wife Courtney Love.
Oh.
Yeah, in an exclusive interview with the
I heard a little bit about this. Alice Cooper, I don't know if you're aware, but Kurt Cobain has a post-mortem album coming out in like a month or a couple of weeks. This just smells of promotion for the album, but go ahead.
It smells of teen spirit a little bit too. But I happen to think that when he died, they released "You Know You're Right." "You Know You're Right" is one of the 2 best Nirvana songs ever made, and they didn't release it till after he died. So it could be interesting to see what this sounds like. I hope it's as good as the last single that was released. I like the cover songs that he did on that Unplugged album, especially the 4th of July.
Yeah.
I
don't remember all the names as well as you do, Alice Cooper, because you're in the music industry. But
they don't go to heaven where the angels fly.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that one. And then there's another one that it was a cover on that same album. What was the other one?
That I don't remember.
There was another one. That one. The heaven thing, yeah, that one.
Look up Unplugged real quick while I
Angels fly, don't go to heaven with the motherfucking yeah.
Oh, remix. In an exclusive interview with the ex-wife Courtney Love claimed that the frontman of Nirvana did not commit suicide, but was murdered by the CIA because of his anti-establishment political views. In an interview with prestigious California tabloid, a well-known actress and musician made some surprising comments concerning the death of her ex-husband. Well, I don't know how well-known Courtney Love still is, but yeah, I know she's strange. I've heard. Sam saw her once with Marilyn Manson and Alice Cooper. Excuse me, with Marilyn Manson and 9 Inch Nails, and had said, she came out and said, "Do you think Trent Reznor likes it on top or on bottom?" You're wrong, bottom. Well, for one thing, Trent Reznor hates that kind of thing. Second of all, later on, Trent Reznor was quoted as saying that he was the one who signed Marilyn Manson, who went on to become the Antichrist superstar. But in his opinion, that's not evil. He's only truly seen evil in person once, and that once was Courtney Love. He swears that she is an evil, rotten person. And then she did that movie, and she did an absolutely amazing acting job in that movie about Larry Flint. And then she found debris from the Malaysian airplane about a year ago, and it ended up being the wrong plane. But she cared enough about the families to be online and actually try to find the plane, and ended up finding some random flotsam and jetsam in the ocean. But I mean, there was a good side to her, but I get a very dark, unpleasant feeling when I see her on TV, personally. I'm not a big fan of her. But she explains that she had always known that her husband was being followed and tracked by the CIA. Of course, you know, she never bothered to tell anybody, which might have saved his life. She adds that for many years...
Yeah, thanks, Courtney. Thanks, Courtney. Thanks for telling us 20 years later that you thought it was the CIA. Good work on that.
Yeah, you know, because he couldn't have announced it from the stage or anything and made it impossible for them to kill him. I know that Sam and David Lake have both said that if they end up suicided, it was done to them. You know, start looking. Well, she adds that for many years she had believed that the stress caused by the Secret Service's constant harassment had pushed him to commit suicide. Now listen to what she says here. Talk about Halloween. When the Nevermind album came out, Kurt was reportedly hailed as the spokesman. One of the
best albums of all times.
Yes, it is a great album. As spokesman of a generation, and he gained tremendous influence, she said. He was almost immediately approached by the Freemasons, the Illuminati, and other secret societies, as well as the CIA and other agencies, because all of them wanted to recruit him. I don't believe any of this. Kurt wanted nothing to do with any of them, and he told them to go to hell. That's when they began to seriously harass him. They followed him everywhere, made creepy phone calls in the middle of the night. I can't think of any creepier phone call than getting a call from her. It made Kurt very nervous, and he began carrying a gun and using more and more drugs to cope with the stress. I'd always thought that he had reached a point where he was no longer able to take it, and he just decided to kill himself. However, new evidence, which has surfaced over the last few months, has finally convinced her that he had not killed himself after all, but had actually been murdered by the American government. Of course, she doesn't release what this information is. She keeps it to herself. After the police released, she said, some new pictures of the coroner scene from April, I began receiving a lot of letters, emails, and phone calls from Kurt's fans. Yeah, because, you know, fans just happen to have her phone number.
Oh, yeah.
Among all the fan mail, I received some classified files emanating from the CIA.
I number changed to 8675309.
Oh, yes. Courtney, don't you lose my number. I know who sent them, but I know they are legitimate. They clearly prove that Kurt was being spied upon, and she didn't know who sent them, excuse me. And they integrated him and starting to be eliminated. I know they killed him, and I will prove it. She proves it how? By not telling anybody how she's going to prove it. It mentions, of course, he killed himself on the 8th of April of 94. The circumstances of his death and the age 27 have become a lasting topic of public fascination. And there's been many theories over the years, including some that she had done it. But according to her, the CIA had already tried to eliminate him, and that was during the first time that he tried to commit suicide. She says the CIA already tried to poison Kurt in March of 94 while he was in Italy. She claimed the press had reported that he was suffering from an overdose-induced coma, but he was actually a victim of this saccharin poisoning. So, no, strychnine poisoning, excuse me. So let me ask you something.
I've heard that. I've heard that before. Yeah.
Now, in order to hide strychnine poisoning, it wouldn't just be the CIA. You would have to get the hospital, the phlebotomists, and everyone that worked on the medical.
Why was it the CIA and not just the restaurant?
You'd have to get, now keep in mind, you're Joe Blow phlebotomist, and you're doing blood work, and you see that Kurt Cobain has strychnine in his system. You're not going to keep that quiet. You're going to write a book. And there's how many people work in any one phlebotomist lab? How many people would have been tending to somebody of that popularity level? There's no way.
One guy.
Yeah, just one guy that the CIA kept quiet. The doctor didn't tell. His assistants didn't tell. There's no papers. Not one person ever wrote it down in a medical file. This woman is insane. Kurt refused to make the information public because he was afraid for me and Francis. The papers I received proved that the CIA was behind the poisoning. The government had been trying to kill him for months, and I think they finally got him. He was murdered and the CIA is behind it. Says a surprising new claim from Miss Love has little chance of leading the police on a new investigation on the death of her husband, though, since she has refused, for the moment, to publish the files of which the story is based. So she's got these papers and she knows they're real, but no one can see them. Her accusations have already generated an impressive number of reactions on social media. The interview was viewed many times over the last 2 days. The website Hollywood Inquirer has suffered some technical difficulties and are periodically unavailable this morning. So I guess the CIA shut down their site too.
Yeah, well, again, just what I already said about the fact that Kurt Cobain, Nirvana has a Kurt Cobain post-mortem, early recordings uncovered album coming out. Like, if it's not out already, it's coming out like next month. I'm telling you, it's coming out. Sam, I need to play this real quick, just less than a minute sample clip, because this we both love this. A moment of silence for Kurt Cobain.
Where the crowd folks don't play time, don't go ahead and the angels fly. Go to a lake,
Fire, cry.
and get you cry. Oh, we.
You just sang that with an English accent. I did. All right, if we don't stop, everyone's going to tune out because it sounds tinny. But yes.
Alice Cooper, do you like that song?
I do very much. I like the Meat Puppets version too, very much. Fan of many kinds of music, even Dada and things like that.
Yeah, see, Meat Puppets. Yeah, see, it was. I knew it was a cover. It was a cover.
Oh, you're roboing out there. I believe that's what you guys call it here. You're roboing out, David Lake.
I'm robo-cording.
Oh, there you are. There you are. Yeah.
But just saying real quick that that song. Sorry, I took the opportunity to play a little bit of that. That song in particular, though, is just one of the really memorable ones. It was a cover by the Meat Puppets. Also, their version is great. I believe Nirvana really made a statement in this country as far as music is concerned, and I feel like we haven't really got much of that lately. I know that's an issue with you, Alice Cooper.
Well, it gets worse.
Take it up another time. Did you have any more stories? Awesome, cool stories?
I've got one story left, and it's interesting that you were talking about rotten music, because when I think of truly rotten music, when I think of the absolute fall of anything that has any relevance